Hi, my name is Tracy Chauvin. I'm going to be going through barriers to Web 2.0 with you for AEP 800, Innovative Technology Integration. So, for this, we read a few articles. The first article we read is Open Educational Resources, Movement Scales Up. So, what is an open educational resource? An open educational resource are materials for teaching and learning that are either in the public domain or have been released under a license that allows them to be freely used, changed, or shared with others. So it can be videos, lesson plans, a curriculum. And in my district, specifically in my building, we use a combination of both commercial text and open educational resources. I also know that I use many open educational resources as a school social worker. The digital divide. A quarter of the nation is without broadband. So the digital divide is not just a matter of geography. Among the quarter of Americans without broadband, which is a connection fast enough to stream a video, there are many who simply cannot afford the monthly bill for service. So within my district and my community, there are minimal families who do not have access to internet resources, and we have much community support in terms of community partners that will support families in having internet. We also have access from AT&T in our area, where wireless internet is offered to families where at least one resident within that household participates in SNAP, and then the address is within the AT&T service area, which ours is. We also read 7 common barriers that obstruct tech adoption in education. So, for me specifically, my buildings both have innovation specialists, instructional coach, technology committees. So we don't see the barriers that were in this article. There's also frequent professional development offered at building level, district level, community level, and training on how to use and how to leverage tech that is provided within our district. So we don't really see the barriers as much as maybe others might. Chapter 2, Barriers to Using Web 2.0 in 21st Century Schools. So this chapter listed out a variety of things that might be barriers or impede your ability to use the web. That would be lack of time, lack of training, lack of tech support, administrative support, your school culture, or the digital divide are some of the potential barriers listed. So again, within my school district and my building, there are multiple IT people assigned to a building. We have instructional coaches, innovation specialists. They are there to support tech integration and also just across the curriculum, how can we best support you as a teacher? We also have tech committees at the building and district level that support feasible and sustainable cultures of technology and methods for tech integration across all areas. Like I just spoke about a couple of articles ago, the digital divide is not seen as an issue in my particular area. So, speaking of the digital divide, can it be resolved? Personally, as a leader, I do not believe that the digital divide can be resolved across the nation within the next few years. I believe that nationally there are underlying causes of the digital divide that are too politically motivated. It would require that there be reduced cost internet service across the nation, and many perceive internet services as a want versus a need. So I don't see that being solved anytime soon in a feasible, sustainable way. Within the Shawnee Mission School District, yes, I do believe that this divide has the ability to be rectified. We're a suburban school district with a one-to-one initiative and resources for families. So there's a social worker in every building that connects families to resources so that they can acquire the internet services. There is also the ability to reduce or have no cost for some families that are in need. So I do believe that this would eliminate the digital divide in our community. And as a building leader, I would want to ensure that this endeavor of communicating about these resources doesn't fall by the wayside. I would want to continue to let my peers know about all the resources that I'm connected with so that they can let their school communities know as well. 21st century skills. What do they need? What do students need to be successful outside of life or outside of life at school? They need learning skills, life skills, and literacy skills in order to thrive outside of school. Learning skills, those teaches students how to mentally process and to adapt and improve upon their modern work environment. Literacy skills, how you can discern facts, how can you use the technology. So can you determine trustworthy resources and sources? Can you find factual information and really stream that out between misinformation and our life skills? Those are those social emotional learning components. And it is my job as an educational leader to ensure that students are able to create a learning environment that's conducive to them while having a whole child focus. So we need to ensure that we are creating that culture as a school leader. So the impact of the global economy on my personal use of the internet. I actually think that I have developed an attitude of instant gratification. Everything is the push of the button while I'm sitting in a waiting room, while I am in a meeting. I can literally find any information or purchase anything with a push of a button at my fingertips. So I believe that it, for me, has made me more, I need right now. Technology training needed. I am a school social worker, so I believe that I actually have quite a bit of training for a school social worker. I know how to best leverage the databases that we have at our disposal, such as Skyward. I can run a variety of reports, all so that I can get the data I need to best support my students. I also think that there needs to be training on Google products. I'm not sure that everyone knows how to leverage that as a support staff in order to be effective and get those products to work for them instead of us working for the product. I do also believe that one of my strengths is providing technology-rich social emotional learning, but as a whole, my department does need more training on what is out there and how to best utilize it. We need more information on the apps and websites that can be used in the school setting to support social emotional character development. In looking forward, the Shawnee Mission School District is going to be utilizing Panorama for students to self-assess their social emotional competencies. So social workers and teachers will need to be able to partner together and need training on this system specifically to be able to use the playbook to access tools to meet the social emotional needs that are going to be identified using this screener. I also believe that there's limited knowledge of technology-based interventions and tools for conducting therapeutic interventions in the school setting. So finding more about that, getting additional training on that to become an expert in that arena as well. 21st century technology, and do I believe that it is embedded in the school and the district that I am in? I do believe it is equipped. I believe that using the one-to-one initiative, all of the training, all the professional development, all of the support staff, that any staff member can be as comfortable as they want. We have a culture of individualization, student-centered learning, personalization, and I think that it is inherent when you walk in our buildings and see the students using their devices, the teachers using devices, and how they're incorporated, but not taking over our school environment here in Shawnee Mission. I also think that the district put together a thoughtful plan of implementation. And right now, at the district level, there is a technology committee that has been formed this year, and it's made up of a variety of stakeholders, including parents and community members, that will update our technology plan for the district. Advantages of innovation in school. I believe that innovation in schools shifts the paradigm, that the students are now driving their learning versus the teacher. There's voice and choice in learning. I believe that it increases engagement. It gives opportunities for reflection. It gives our students a way to be motivated so that they understand what's going on, so that they can problem solve on their own. We're creating independent thinkers that can critically problem solve. It also helps develop all of the social emotional competencies inherently. We're building confidence, self-awareness, cooperation, and all of that is inherent within an innovative environment and community. I also believe that there are opportunities for technical skills to be enhanced for our students and highlighting new perspectives. And so you're continually finding ways to create a student-centered environment using innovation. But with any tool, there are disadvantages as well. Disadvantages of innovations in schools can include the culture of instant gratification that I spoke about. The students wanting information right now, wanting things to happen right now because they're so used to having it at their fingertips. You might also start to rely on this technology or being able to have the freedom and the voice and the choice to do what you want, how you want, which isn't always the real world. I also think one of the disadvantages can become that we start to use technology as a tool, not a toy. Because we have technology at our fingertips across all environments, we might start to use it as entertainment versus the tool that it's intended to be in the school setting. With the constant adaptation of technology and innovation and what is current best practice, what's upcoming promising practices, we need continual training, which is ongoing, which means you need somebody a step ahead at all times to be an expert to provide that training. I also think that at times we can start to lose some of the relationships, which means that you would have to have that relationship first mentality, because as we start to build more independent projects and project-based learning and technology as the resource, teachers are no longer driving that education bus like I mentioned before, students are. So teachers need to be intentional in building their relationships and connecting with their students. So what are some of the problems that I've experienced personally? As a school social worker and working with my building principals, we have encountered sexting. We have encountered sites and pictures that are inappropriate for our school devices. I personally, as a social worker, have experienced the vague booking, which is where you post sort of a cry for help and it's alarming on social media. And that can be a predictor of suicidal ideation. So for me, that is really one to talk with parents about and create education around so that my teachers and my community feel empowered to respond to that. I also have experienced a lot of the parent groups and the community members coming to me talking about the time spent on the devices. Concerns that too much screen times lead to mental health issues, or that teachers are using it solely to replace pen and paper, instead of integrating it fully to make it a interactive experience, or that students are starting to feel as if the devices are their property, not school property. So there's some of the concerns and problems that I've experienced personally. The references mentioned at the start of the slideshow are listed here. Please feel free to go explore them. And thank you so much for talking about Web 2.0 barriers with me.